Hello, World of Tank Blitzers, it's Littlefinger. Today, doing a full tank review on the VK30.01P. You can see it here in the garage. This is a Tier 6 medium tank, German line. And I say medium lightly because, as you might have seen in some of my previous Dumb Ways to Die videos, this tank is bigger than a lot of heavy tanks. Right here, I'll pull it up and put it beside the T150. And you can see from a profile perspective, this tank is actually bigger. Real quick on this tank, you can see how I have the setup here with the 88mm gun. The standard gun that this comes with is trash. Make sure you have enough free experience to bypass that and mount the 88mm straight away, or else you're going to struggle mightily. And I'll show you why here in a second. And then just going up to the top, obviously one of the things I want to point out with this tank is its maneuverability, is its strong suit. This tank just gets around, which is difficult in a medium because it's so big, it's boxy, and it's very difficult to bounce shots unless you are face-to-face with your opponent. That gun mantlet there, 100mm of armor, is basically the only good thing about the armor. So you can brawl face on face with these guys. You want to just stay in as close as you can, make it difficult to hit anywhere else. And I'll show you that in some gameplay. But real quick, let's pull up the tank line. So we go from the 3001P to the Tiger. This goes up to the mouse line. You know, this is a difficult line to play, in my opinion. I have played so far up to the 4502A on another account. Find it very difficult, but I think the reward is the mouse at the end there. So, how I have it set up, obviously running the camo, got repair kit, multi-purpose, and adrenaline. Provisions, running chocolate, protective kit, and standard fuel. If you wanted to save a few credits per battle, I would say you could probably go away with the protective kit and put the improved fuel. You're really going to help out the best characteristics on this tank, which are its mobility. As far as ammunition, here you can see 29 rounds AP, 13 rounds APCR, which you buy by making sure you use the credit button there, and 8 rounds of HE. As far as equipment goes, you can see that I have loaded this one out pretty well. That's because I do have a lot of extra credits right now, and I was struggling, honestly, to win in this tank. So I am running calibrated shells because the pen is not great on this tank. You're going to come up against some tier 7s with over 100mm sloped armor from the front, and you know, you're just going to want that increased pen, in my opinion. I'm running defense system, improved optics. The tank does have 275 meters of view range, which is really good. Again, running supercharged to get that shell velocity up. And again, this is because as a medium tank, this is really not a frontline tank. You want to play this a little bit further back. Moving on, enhanced armor. You know, this one's really a toss-up. I don't know how much 60 hit points is going to give you. Straight out there, engine accelerator is in my opinion, a no-brainer here. And then I'm running the vertical stabilizer. So here we are on blitzstars.com using Tank Compare. The VK3001 with the 88mm gun on the left, with the stock gun, the 75mm right next to it, just so you can see how bad this is with the 110 in penetration, and the dispersion being higher. Right next to it, I've got the Type 58 Cheeto Cromwell and the M4 Easy 8 Sherman. Felt like those were kind of the most mobile mediums to go, but there's 16 mediums in the class. So as you can see at DPMs, we're right in the middle. Penetration number, if you guys use Blitzhanger at all, you are 6 out of 16 with the 145 pen. And the other thing to note, the shell velocity of 773 is the worst of any of the medium tanks, which is kind of why I've got the setup the way I do. If we just quickly move down here, just want to point out some highlights. -8 degrees of gun depression is certainly very workable. Speed, 60 kilometers per hour, one of the best things about this tank. And the fact that it is so heavy makes this a wonderful ramming tank, which is why you'll see me when I play this tank in one-on-one situations. I'm really trying to bully other tanks. The terrain resistance there of 0.9 really helps us out with how easy it is to drive this tank. And then looking at the hull armor, it is very good when you compare it to these other mediums. But again, with that flat boxy style, you're going to have difficulty bouncing too many shots unless you are in the face of your opponent or hiding behind a building or something. So anyway, we'll jump into some gameplay and I'll show you how I play this. First game here as bottom tier, Oasis Palms. You can see I am tuned up. And one of the things I want you to just watch in this video is how I keep this tank kind of on the outskirts of the battle, if at all possible. So we're going to push around to the medium area here and see if anyone's coming around the corner. We've got a heavy spotted in the medium there, ARL. So still trying to decide, which way this team is going. We get spotted as we come over, probably from that VK there, who's YOLOing through everything. But instead of, cresting that ridge there and engaging at this point in time, just note how I stay back. And basically, I'm playing this very cautiously at this point in time. So we don't aim on that shot and we miss on the VK. Didn't think I'd have a shot there, so it was a good thing that I didn't take that shot. I'd have been on the reload there as that VK kind of just YOLO'd into everybody. So ARL's just shot, so we can go in, we can aim, side cheek there, and back down to safety. He's turning, so again, gives us that soft side cheek. He's down to 1 hit point, and just note here, switch it over to HE. Just about anywhere I hit on that front is going to give me 1 hit point of splash damage, so we get kill number 2 there. We're being cautious here again. We've got 920 hit points in this tank, and still just playing, just as cautious as we can, staying on the outskirts. We've got a T-20 that's in town there, who's just stationary, but he's aiming at me. We trade shots. But again, he's just out in the open. That's not good gameplay. Finish him off. Remember, we're doing about 200 damage here per shot. And so this this Bulldog here is out here. Missed that shot, unfortunately, but you can see now it's time for me to get aggressive and just get in his face and not really give him anything to aim at. So you see he bounces that shot, and we're able to finish him off for kill number 4. But the speed and mobility of this tank really lets you get in the face of other tanks, especially when they're trying to back up like that. Nice shot on the move. Believe that KV just shot, so I know I can get across here and get a shot in, and I'm just hoping that my teammate puts him away, which he does. So 1 tank left, and it is this AT-7 who's just been sitting back here. Very wise move from him. You can see he's just pummeling us with shots. So I'm going to play safe and let him get distracted. Someone else can go around him, and I will wait at that point in time. So when I see him moving around, I go ahead and back up and take my shot. Obviously, shooting that hatch while he's moving is a tough target. I think this guy knows how to play this AT because obviously he's kept himself close to this building. He's just going to back himself in there. So now we're just going to roll around and see if we can't get a shot or two in. I know I can take a couple shots from him, probably one. But you can see they've gone in and they've got him distracted, and even on that shot on the side there, it's bouncing. We're just going to push him, so make it difficult for him to turn around. Just pushing him at this point in time, and we'll finish it off for kill number 5 there. So it wasn't a huge damage game at 2063, and I'm sure that those 5 kills helped us get the mastery there. And so did, playing this map properly on the outside. I could have easily found myself caught in the middle of those dunes with several of their guys headed my way. So this time, bottom tier on Naval Frontier. No call here from anybody. We've got 3 heavies. They've got 3 heavies. Tend to think TDs might do a little bit better if we can get the high ground. So you can see here how easily this tank gets up the hill, and I take my time, and I'm just gonna wait. But don't see anything, so I push on forward. Kind of a big mistake here. So I'm able to get behind this this part of the structure here without getting shot, and now I've just got to try to figure out a way to kind of just try to side scrape off of here, take just a quick shot really without aiming, just as I try to get myself better situated. Now I do see that T-21 is basically just a one shot, so I'm willing to step out there, get a gun out of the game, and steal a kill, so to speak. I was hoping I'd be able to get a shot there, but obviously they put that just high enough for a reason. Thinking I can use this in front of me and get a shot on that Type 58 there, so pulling forward, and of course I get shots and pulled up too far. And this really goes into learning the size of this tank and just how big it is. So now what I'm trying to do is just keep an eye on who's shot. When I see that they've shot and are in the reload and are backing up, then I can pull forward, get a clean shot in, and get back to safety. So we've got a tank there, you can see on the mini-map. He's circled around asking for help. Lupus turns that gun just enough that I can get a shot onto that side. He's finished off. There is still one tank, I believe an IS-2 over there. I was hoping that maybe that type would peek around, but you can see there's the IS-2. We've got 2 tanks down here, one of them being that KV-2. So I took a real quick snapshot there. Obviously didn't go in. This time I'll aim and then take my shot back up. You can see we're doing just over 200 damage per shot. Right here, I'm just trying to bait a shot out of him. He doesn't shoot, so I pull forward. There he goes. He shot. So we should be able to reload and pull forward and finish off that KV. Sure enough, someone steals that from me. But anyway, we move on. We've got that J Panther turned. You can see here, I'm going to try to aim close to the tracks, try to track him, get a little bit of extra experience points out of the game. And this time we do get the kill. So it's just this IS-2 that was up here. We've got obviously a 5-on-1 advantage, so I'm not too worried about dying. Obviously, it's better for your stats if you do stay alive. Get a nice shot into the back there, 217, and he is running full speed away downhill. Now, I was really hoping that I could gather some momentum and just see how much damage I could do here. But he manages to tuck himself in, and I miss the shot. I go all the way around him, and as you can see here, slowly turning around, broadside, he finishes me off. So not very well played there from a perspective of staying alive. But we end up doing 2192 damage and 2 kills. Good for level 1 mastery badge there. Top on the team in damage. Alright, so let's switch gears. Let's go to top tier dead rail. And just looking at the makeup of this team, we're kind of evenly split, and the call is left by the M6. So that is fine by me. You can see our Leo is going to run into the middle and try to get spots. And I'm going to push up to the far left edge of this map. Leo's picked up that T25 and the Cromwell. Going to have distracted the Cromwell so we can pull forward and get a shot in. And take a couple bounces there. Just because I've angled up as much as I could. Now I'm going to push on up here. Got to be wary of that KV2 down there, so I'm going to stay behind these rocks for as long as possible. KV2's not spotted, so I'm not sure where he's at. Take a big shot there of 241 damage. But just want to push in on this T25 and clear the corner of this map. So one of the nice things about this tank, as you notice, it is extremely mobile. It's going to get up to 60 kilometers per hour pretty quick. And we get in here and get our first kill. Hellcat's down there. Doesn't have much frontal armor, so switch over to HE hoping to get a shot in, but he's back behind the rocks. Now here's the KV2, so we're going to go ahead and snapshot one in there. Just trying to stay back here because we know that Hellcat's down there as well. Get our second shot in here, and he's shot. Now I don't know why I drop adrenaline here. That really wasn't smart in hindsight. And we get a 208 roll, leaving him with 1 hit point. Now he's probably reloaded by now, or just about, so I'm going to switch over to HE so I don't even have to aim. I'm just going to hit anywhere on that tank, and we'll get 1 hit point of damage. So we get kill number 2 there. Hero is our next target. We've conserved our hit points, so I'm not too worried at this point in time. And not sure what's going on with the Hellcat here. He looks like maybe he went AFK. So we switch over to HE, get a 231 roll, and we are going 50 kilometers per hour. We're just going to ram right into him there, finishing him off. Puts us with only 274. Now, still missing 1 tank. We saw that one there in the middle, but I'm not sure where the other one is. So wait here a few seconds to let our camo reset. Churchill's still in the middle there, but I know there's got to be one hiding in this corner. And as I crest over this ridge, I do get spotted. And I'm going to back up and see that it is this Leo. He takes a shot at me and only does 60 damage, so he's got a little gun on it. Probably going to have a tough time penning this tank. So we're just going to go in here and use a bully tactic and just get up in his face. Give him a nice ram there for 171. You see he bounces again. And we'll finish him off for kill number 5. And our team finishes off the Churchill. And, you know, in what seemed like a really quick game there, we do 212 damage, good for mastery with 5 kills. So, again, you know, very mobile tank, good damage. You can get 10 shots in a game. You're going to be upwards of 2,000 damage. So you really want to focus on staying alive the whole battle. And so here on the second game as top tier on mines, I want to reiterate that importance of just trying to stay alive in a game. Don't be as aggressive when you're getting low on hit points. Really take your time. Now, Mines is one of the worst maps in my opinion. It's just a single play style where you fight for the middle of the hill here, and really if you want to get good damage on this map, you've got to be very proficient at basically looking at the other tanks and seeing when they fired and being able to crest over that ridge without taking lots of damage. So you can see they're making a hard push for the hill here. That M4, you know, not sure what he's doing. He's way overexposed. But at least for now, he has drawn their attention. We do take one shot, which looks like it probably came from the spawn area. So just need to be aware of that. You know, we got a TD there camping in the back. But I'm really focusing as much as I can on the T150. But I notice that the SU here was 1 hit point. So I'm willing to trade shots to get a tank out of the game. We've got this Hellcat turning around, showing me his rear. So HE shot there. And in the effort to do that, I didn't get backed up in time. And the T150 now has got me under 100 hit points. So you can see I'm repositioning myself behind this rock so that, you know, I can't get shot by any of these guys. Now I have to be really careful, watch what they're doing and when they're shooting, and taking my shots when I can. So I saw that the T150 was turned, so I was able to take my shot, but we just barely missed. So again, just trying to use the outside edge here. Unfortunate that shot bounced. And so we got 2 tanks left, 4 on 2. Hellcat's down there in the typical TD spot on this map, and he is now the lone tank in this game. And you can see we're not pushing forward. Just going to use this rock to hide behind. He's being distracted by tanks all around him. And our patience pays off here. You know, we're able to get that shot in there for our second kill. So again, that game, not so much on how to play this tank in particular, but how to play mines. Be very cognizant of the enemy reds and when they've shot, so you can crest over. And we see we do 2,000 damage there. Alright, so this is the 5th and final game I'm going to show, and wanted to just put this one in here. As you can see, we've got the 75mm gun on this tank. Probably one of the first 5 games that I played in this tank, so I was top tier, and you can see our acceleration is not as great. Our aim time is not as good. I'm pretty sure I didn't even have 100% crew. And so had I been watching this MT25, it probably could have been a nice dumb way to die. And you can see here he has lit up the reds, but he is not going to survive very long in like the first 30 seconds of this game. And he has given us the information that the team is going to the high ground. So right now I'm just trying not to rush into a bad situation. Like I said, already down a tank. We are basically just going to use the cover here from a distance and try to get some shots in. PZ4 comes into sight there. And so you can see how I'm rocking back and forth, slightly angling the tank, and using the rocks in front of me for a little bit extra protection. So we've got this Leo down below us, so we're going to be aggressive with him. And you'll see if we get turned here just right, angled, not giving him any real flat surfaces to aim at, just wiggling it a little bit, he is going to bounce all of his shots there. Somehow I was aimed a little bit too low, and I'm going to go ahead and move on, knowing that he's going to be finished off by that T-34 that was next to me. So just being careful around the corner. We see that KV-2 there when this tank, the type to my left, is spotted. Again, just more interested in this KV-2, obviously, with that big gun. Want to try to get him out of the game. And sure enough, he's going to push around just enough to get the kill shot there. Now we can move in on Type 58. And you can see we're only doing about 150 with damage with this gun. And now you'll see the penetration issues with the M4. E2 ahead of us here, sloped frontal armor, and even with APCR, that first shot bounced. All three of us moving together here to close in on him. Again, leaving it on APCR, we do get that shot to go in. And I'm just going to be patient, see that he shoots, and we can pull forward and get our shot in. And now, just wiggling, getting in his face, making it difficult for him to hit the flat surfaces. You can see he bounces another one. And now he's got his back to us. We can turn back to AP and get that last kill shot in there for our third kill. But again, keep in mind, this was one of the first games that I played in this tank. So it had the lower gun on it, not as good penetration numbers. So anyway, hopefully you guys learned a few things with this review. The boxy nature of this tank does make it a little bit difficult to get some bounces. But if you are a little bit more aggressive in one-on-one situations and get in their face, you can certainly bounce shots off the front of the turret. It is very mobile. It does very nice damage. But in my opinion, it was a difficult tank to play just because of its sheer size and keeping it protected. So anyway, guys, stay safe out there. Have fun. This is just a game. As always, get educated, not fingered. Littlefinger out.